Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a deep dive into the 2024 presidential election. Today's video is on the state of Arizona, an absolutely critical swing state in this election, very important to both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's pathway to victory. Looking at the presidential voting history in the state of Arizona, in 2020, Arizona was won by President Joe Biden by just 0.3% of the vote. Incredibly close. I believe the second closest state in the entire country, just behind the state of Georgia in 2020 in terms of margin of victory. In 2016, the state of Arizona was won by Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton by 3.5% of the vote. And in 2012, Arizona was won by Mitt Romney over Barack Obama by 9.1% of the vote. Very close. Right now, in the current RCP polling average, Donald Trump holds a lead over Kamala Harris in the state of Arizona, but a very close lead of 48.1% of the vote to 47.6% of the vote. About 3 to 4% of the vote still remaining could be either undecided or third party at this time. So still a lot of outstanding vote for both Trump and Harris to gain in the state of Arizona, and incredibly close polling numbers right now. In the national popular vote of the last three elections, in 2020, Biden won the popular vote by 4.4%. 2016, Hillary Clinton won it by 2.1%. And in 2012, Barack Obama won it by 3.9%. As of the day I'm recording this video, the 2024 head-to-head national vote polling average has Harris over Trump by 1.8%, which, looking at the past three elections, that would be the lowest popular vote win for a Democrat out of any of the last three elections, which could certainly spell some potential trouble for Harris's chances of winning the election, because you would think, well, Harris is winning the popular vote, she'll get more votes nationwide. Doesn't that mean she would win the election? And the way the electoral college system works is it actually does not. And I'll show you what I mean by this right now. In 2020, the state of Arizona voted 4.1% to the right of the popular vote. So even though Joe Biden won the state of Arizona, Arizona still voted 4.1% to the right of the popular vote. If Harris only wins the popular vote by 1.8% this time, and Arizona once again votes 4.1% to the right of the popular vote, that would give Trump enough to win the state by a little over 2% of the vote. Let's say Trump only wins, or Arizona, only votes 2% to the right of the popular vote. Well, Trump would then win the state by 0.2% if the numbers remained the same. So this is why it's very important that for Harris's chances of winning, she needs to have a higher popular vote margin than what Hillary Clinton got in 2016, where she lost the election very narrowly because of Republicans, because of Trump outperforming the national vote in several states percentage-wise. So what I'm saying is, for a state like Arizona, if the popular vote is only 1.8% lead for Harris, while the popular vote does not elect a president, it may be a sign that Harris is not faring too well in a lot of the battleground states, which are expected to vote more Republican or more Democrat, depending than the popular vote. It depends on the state. So in 2020, as I mentioned, Arizona voted 4.1% more Republican than the national vote. In 2016, Arizona voted 5.6% more Republican than the national vote. In 2012, Arizona voted 13% more Republican than the national vote, an average difference of 7.6% across the last three elections. The only good news for Democrats on this, though, is if you notice across the last three elections, that number is getting smaller. It went from 13 in 2012 down to 4.1 in 2020, and it's certainly possible that 4.1 in 2024 is even smaller. The only problem is, from 2016 to 2020, yes, Biden was able to flip the state from red to blue in 2020. It went down 1.5 percentage points. If Arizona goes down 1.5 percentage points again from 2020 to 2024, well, then that would put it about 2.5%. That would still be enough for Trump to win if Harris's popular vote stays around 1.8%, which is why I'm trying to push the point that Harris at 1.8% lead in the national vote, I don't think would be enough to win a state like Arizona. That's why I'm pushing that point very heavily. As for the presidential forecast in the state of Arizona, no surprise, Arizona is one of the top toss-up states across the country. Roll Clear Politics has it as a toss-up. Salvador Crystal Ball does as well. Inside Elections does as well. Decision Desk HQ/The Hill, they have it as a toss-up. Click Political Report also as a toss-up. And you can also check all the major news networks in America. CBS, CNN, ABC, Fox News, all of them will have Arizona as a toss-up state. Very close in this election. Some key counties I'm watching in the state of Arizona. It all begins and ends with Maricopa County. This is a county that was reliable Republican in 2012 and even before that. In 2016, Trump won it by 2.8%. He won statewide by a little under 4% of the vote. In 2020, Joe Biden wins the county by 2.2%, and Biden wins the state by just 0.3% of the vote. If Trump is going to win the state of Arizona, he either needs to do way better everywhere else, like drastically better, and keep Maricopa County at 2.2, or Trump needs to get this number at 2.2%, slightly smaller than what it is. Trump can win the state of Arizona without winning Maricopa County, but if Harris expands on Biden's 2.2% in Maricopa County and everything else throughout the state of Arizona remains equal, I'm having a hard time finding a way for Trump to get enough votes to win the state of Arizona. So Trump's number one target has to be Maricopa County in Arizona. Harris's number one target has to be defending Maricopa County and trying to grow on what Biden was able to do in 2020. How it's looking right now is anyone's guess. We're going to have to wait till election day to find out. But Maricopa County, if there's only one county in Arizona I'm watching, it is 100% Maricopa County. The election, I think, will be won and be lost in this one county. And this is why on election day, I think Arizona will take a long time to decide who will win, because we're going to be waiting on the final votes out of Maricopa County, like in 2020. And even though it wasn't as close in 2016, that was also a similar situation. We're likely going to be waiting on votes out of Maricopa late into the evening. Another county I'm watching is Yuma County, not as big population as Maricopa. It was 12.6 in 2012 for Romney, 1.1 for Trump in 2016, 6.2 for Trump in 2020. I'm interested in the margins here because for Trump, if Trump is not able to improve in Maricopa, he needs to do better in a county like Yuma, where he did go up 5 points from 16 to 20 up to 6.2. But if Trump is not doing better in Maricopa, this 6.2 needs to become like plus 10 or plus 9 to make up enough votes to try and counterbalance Maricopa. So Yuma is one I'm watching for the margins. I know it'll go for Trump. I'm watching for the margins on that one. Pima County is a county that's expected to vote Democrat, but I'm very interested to see what the margins is in this county. It was 6.9 in 2012, 13.6 in 2016, and 18.7 in 2020. It goes up about 7 points from 12 to 16, 5 points from 16 to 20. Is there going to be a jump from 2020 to 2024, and how much? That is what I'm interested in watching as well. Navajo County, the final county I'm looking at, 7.9 for Romney in 2012, 10.2 for Trump in 2016, 8.3 for Trump in 2020. Again, another smaller county we fully expect to go for Donald Trump, but what is the percentage margin of victory in that county? Where, again, if Maricopa is staying the same or only budging a bit, you have to look at a county like this and say, okay, can Trump make up the votes in a county like Navajo, and by how much? This is one I'm very much closely watching. Now looking at Arizona county map statewide, in 2020, Biden got 49.4% of the vote. Trump got 49.1%. Again, very, very close. Maricopa County narrowly flipped blue at 50.3 to 48.1. Super, super close. Can't underscore this enough. 2024, this is the county I'm watching for every single second that I'm watching on Arizona. I'm watching Maricopa County. Yuma County right down here, 52.3 for Trump, 46.1 for Biden. Navajo County right here, 53.4 to 45.2. Pima County, 58.6 to 39.9. This is one I am watching as well for Harris. 2016, Trump wins the state of Arizona, 48.7, 45.1. And look, Maricopa County goes red, 47.7, 44.3. A 3-point margin of victory in Maricopa, and about a 3.6% margin of victory in the state of Arizona. Again, I think how Maricopa County goes may very well be how the state of Arizona goes. Yuma, 47.5, 46.4. Navajo, 51.1, 40.9. And Pima, finally, 53.3, 39.7. Looking at 2012 Obama-Romney, this is a much bigger and bygone era, honestly, in Arizona, where it was a 9-point win for Romney over Obama, 53.7, 44.6. Maricopa was over 10 points in 2012 win for Romney. Yuma, 55.7, 43.1 for Obama, 53.3 to 45.4, and 52.7, 45.7. I mean, as much as I'm sure Trump would love to see a 2012 Obama-Romney map, 2020 is certain. I think somewhere between 2020 and 2016 is what we're mostly looking at. I wouldn't be shocked if every county stays the exact same from 2020 and 2024, but Maricopa County 100% is the county I'm watching for. Does it stay blue? And if it does, what's the percentage? Does it flip red? And what is the percentage? That is what's going to decide how the state of Arizona goes on election night. Now, looking at the party percentages for both Republicans and Democrats, in 2020, Trump got 49.1% of the vote, lost a very close election. 2016, Trump got 48.7% of the vote, won a very close election. In 2012, Romney got 53.7% and won the state. When you look at 2024, the estimated range based on these numbers of the highest minus the lowest, and taking the range of that added to the highest and lowest numbers, a low point of Arizona of Republicans at 43.7, a high of 58.7, and an average vote across the last three elections of 50.5%. A range this close from 43.7, 58.7 certainly shows that it is a very winnable race on both the Republican side, and you're about to see on the Democratic side. Easily, Republicans can win or lose Arizona depending on how the night goes. Very, very close. On the Democratic side, very similar. 2020, Biden got 49.4. 2016, 45.1 for Clinton. And 2012, 44.6 for Obama. A low end of 39.8 in the range to a high of 54.2. Kind of similar numbers to the Republicans. Very, very winnable for both Republicans and Democrats in Arizona. An average vote across the last three elections of 46.4. So when you're looking at it, the average vote across the last three elections does favor the Republicans. The most recent election, 2020, of Trump versus Biden, when you look at just that one alone, you would think, okay, that favors the Democrats then. The estimated range very, very narrowly favors the Republicans, even though it's pretty much the same when you look at what the numbers are. The Democrats are slightly lower, Republicans are slightly higher, but it's not by a huge margin. It's very, very close in that respect. So you have to look at the polling data, and that's super close. Only half of 1% of the vote separating Harris and Trump in the average. Arizona is going to be very, very close on election night, and it's a state that can really go either way. But in my prediction for the state of Arizona, I have Donald Trump outperforming the polls slightly in the state and winning by 2% of the vote statewide. This is one where I think the polls will just be a little bit off on election day in Arizona. Not by a huge margin, only about 1.5% of the vote I think they'll be off by, which is not a huge number when you look at polls, considering the variance of maybe a hidden Trump vote that we saw in 2016 and 2020. I do have Trump winning the state of Arizona, but not in a blowout, not like a 2012 Obama-Romney, and not even as big of a win as 16 Trump versus Clinton. I think the in-between numbers of 2020 and 2016, somewhere in between that, is where Trump and Harris end up. And I think Trump wins the state of Arizona, but given how close this election is, if Harris won the state, I won't lie, I would not be totally shocked. I do think Trump is favored to win the state right now. That's why I'm making this prediction, but it's going to be a very, very close state on election night. And right now on the 2024 electoral map, Kamala Harris is 81 electoral votes. Donald Trump is up to 37. Harris started out with a big lead when I started with Washington, Oregon, California, and Hawaii. Trump has Alaska, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona. Trump is slowly starting to inch his way back up to Harris's 81 electoral votes and catch up. However, depending on which state comes next in the deep dive series, maybe Trump's trend continues, maybe it doesn't, maybe Harris picks up some more electoral votes. You'll have to tune into the next video to find out which state I'll be doing next. But I really hope you will, because hopefully you enjoy this series, because I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you're having a lot of fun watching it. So that'll do it for the deep dive today in the state of Arizona. Thank you so much for watching. Now please stay tuned for my preview for my 2024 election night full breakdown. It is now 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have a second huge poll closings of the night, including several key, very important battleground states. The states with their polls closing right now are Arizona, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Now let's take a look at what projections we can make at this time. Starting with the state of Arizona and its 11 electoral votes, we can call this race as too close to call between Vice President Harris and former President Trump. Too close to call in Arizona, a very important battleground state to watch for tonight.
That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.